All right, welcome everyone. Sometimes I get here and I think I've said the same thing over and over, but Spirit is like, just keep going. So today I wanted to talk about fear. So let's see how that all plays out. I think this started from a post I did that said, if the Muslims are right, 1 billion people are going to hell. If the Christians are right, about the same are going to hell. And if I'm right, nobody's going to hell, right? And so some people laughed, some people understood it. I think it went over some people's head. But really, there is no place called heaven, and there is no place called hell, right? To me, that's a feeling, and that's happening right now, right? So there's no eternal damnation when you cross over, right? There's no such thing. So that is all based in a fair philosophy. So if I get you to believe that I'm going to do something to you, if you don't do what I say, then you're going to do what I say, right? So they say, hey, you're going to go to hell, so you better do what I say. I'm not calling no names or anything out, but I was brought up with that, right? If you don't do this, you're going to hell, right? And so that has kept everybody in line for so long. I'm talking thousands of years. Even before Christ, this was happening, right? So at some point, I don't blame the preachers, reverends, because most of them are just repeating something somebody told them, that somebody told them, that somebody told them, right? But there is no such thing. And so if you keep thinking negative thoughts, you're going to create hell on earth. And if you keep thinking positive thoughts, you're going to create heaven on earth, right? And so that's the basic difference I'd like everybody to just focus on, right? If you start helping yourself as much as you can, helping other people as much as you can, then you can create pretty much heaven on earth right now, right? So a few things we need to know or be aware of. Your internal system, right? Your chakras, your light body, your emotional body. Most people don't even pay attention to those. And once you pay attention to those and you get those in order, right? Then you can do what are impossible things, which are impossible at all, right? Things that Jesus did are not impossible, right? He said, you can do what I can do and more, right? So if you get your individual self in line, then you can create anything you want. You can have anything you want, right? Everybody doesn't say that. Because if I tell you you can have anything you want, you won't come back, right? And so I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about you getting whatever you want. I remember Sadhguru said something like, everybody heard of Sadhguru? He said something like, well, those who really want to go to heaven, just go now and leave here for us who want to stay in health and be healthy and do things. And so those things get me thinking, right? Because there's no place to go. This brought up what is called the second coming. And for most people, that's like Jesus is coming back, right? So some people are out looking, where is he and what color is he going to be, and is he going to need a visa and a green card and all this, right? And no such thing is happening, right? So they got those people by the collar, dragging them around. The second coming is going to be once you get your chakras, your inner self in line, then you're introducing yourself to yourself or your higher self. That is what the second coming is. I'm going to introduce you to myself. I'm going to recognize that I am more than this thing, and I am broader than I even know, right? That's all that is, right? So the fear-based policies are falling apart, right? So, and if the church doesn't make a change, yeah, it will fall apart, right? And you see, the church will follow the people. If the people don't go, they're going to make a change, right? I know a lot of people come here because what they were told isn't working. And what they're told is, you come here and I tell you what to do and you go do it and you'll be okay, right? And we're here to say, if you come here, we're going to help you get where you want to go, because it's all about you. I'm just a teacher. I'm just for many, many moons. I've studied many subjects. So I'm just, I call it regurgitating, because nothing I'm saying is new. Nothing I'm saying is new. Some people just are not aware of it, right? And I could say it's an uphill battle in getting people to take responsibility, you know, because it's a big thing when somebody says, you're responsible for everything you do, right? Everything you do, you're responsible for. And that sets some people back, because they're like, I didn't want this, right? This happened to me, right? And so you have to take responsibility. In my life, I started with, I'm going to take 50% responsibility for whatever happened. The other 50 belongs to that other person. And as I got more and more into it and more studying and more workshops, I'm taking responsibility for everything that happens to me. And and that happens because I keep thinking something over and over and over and over and over. And then it happens because I keep thinking something over and over and over. Not that somebody's doing something to me, is because I am attracting what I'm thinking about. Just thoughts can do that, right? Not even actions. Actions will do it too, but thoughts first. Everything happens with a thought first. So why not think good thoughts? Right? Why not see the goodness in people first? Because we don't even see that. And the reason we don't see that is because we don't see the goodness in ourselves. Right? We've been told all kinds of things. I've been told all kinds of things. I don't believe them anymore, right? And that could be from my parents, from my teachers, from friends, you trust. I'm to the point where I don't tell people what we're doing. I'll tell you after it's happened. Because when you tell people stuff, they have a certain energy about it. They're not helping you grow, right? They're going to be like, well, why do you want to do that? Or, you want to ride a car, but they always get tickets, right? So they're always against you. So again, we don't tell people things until it's happening. And then they're like, oh my God, that's pretty cool, right? But if we told them, they would have been objective about it. Right? No, that's not going to work. So you got to start with yourself. And fear, I learned also is helpful. It points you to what needs attention. Because if you're fearful of somebody, what is it about you that has you fearful about that person? Nothing to do with that person at all. At all. It is about you and what went on in your life, in your lives. What's going on right now. It's all about you. And so that's where that self-responsibility comes into play. I think that's one of the most important things that we need to focus on. Right? I was in an accident right up the street here. I don't even think I was coming to this church then. And I wanted to get rid of my little red car. Because I get getting pulled over a couple times. Funny how that worked out. And I wanted to get rid of it. And I want to get rid of it. And it was a rainy day, just like today. And somebody ran into the back of me and pushed me into the back of something. And then my car went like this. I got rid of that car. And at that moment, probably had something to do with this church. At that moment, I was like, okay, I will take the lessons, but not the drama. Right? And so things have been going that way. Once you take responsibility, they're like ghosts. These things just go away. These things I fear, once you take a look at it, in shamanic school, we call them ghosts, right? Because once we fear something, once we look at it and go through it, then all of a sudden we realize, oh, it's not even there. It was never there, right? People are fearful of the dentist. And they're not fearful of the dentist. They're fearful of a past experience with the dentist that they're bringing into this experience right now, right? And so really, they're not fearful of the dentist. They're fearful of a past experience, right? Those happen. You learn from them. And that's how people drag fear into right now, right? And that's something that can easily be fixed. Everything is brand new in every moment, right? Bashar says we are recycling ourselves billions of times a second. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, right? Because we're recycling ourselves. We're like a hologram, the best ever made, right? And so we're recycling ourselves. So anytime you can change the aspects of your hologram, right? At any time. People just don't tell us that. Our leaders just don't tell us that, right? And they should be telling us that. Hey, here's how you want to heal yourself. Here's how you do it. You stop talking about your neighbors, right? You stop talking about the homeless people. Little bitty easy things will help you raise your vibration and get the things you do want. Most people are worried about the things they don't want more than the things they do want, right? And so I always say, like, again, 50% of the time, that's how you start. I'm going to be 50% positive today. Tomorrow, I'm going to be 51. And then you keep going. And then after a while, it becomes second nature, right? It's second nature for me because at 66, I've been doing this now for probably at least 35 years. Listening to Abraham and Cryon and Bashar is new and all those. So it's second nature to me. So if I say something negative, 99% of the time, I'm going to step back and I'm going to be like, that doesn't serve me any good, right? You know, if I say I want to be more healthy, I want to be more joyous, I want to be more helpful, that does nothing for me. To say something negative about somebody, that does nothing for me. And it also negates the fact that God created them too, no matter what version you're seeing from them. So see that part at least. If you got to say, yeah, God created that person, I'm on to the next one, right? Versus that person should get a job, right? Why are you out on the streets, right? Those are the things that keep you in this energy called hell right now. Little bitty things like that. We always think these things should be huge. And I always say that you think you should have 5 degrees. It's really simple things that you keep doing over and over and over and over. For me, I'm here because I kept reading over and over and over, no matter what anybody said. I kept researching over and over when people were in bed. I kept researching when I got 2 hours of sleep. And I didn't need any more than that, right? Because when I started working with this energy, I was filled, right? So I didn't feel a lack of anything. Right? And so the more I did that, so what you're getting from me right now is what's overflowing. Right? I told somebody the other day, it's like, they wanted to help everybody, and I was like, well, make sure your cup is full before you help everybody. Right? Because then if you're not, then you're in a deficit. And people think it's wrong to help yourself. Sometimes I have to be selfish. I'm sorry. Because I'm more important than you are. Right? I'm sorry. Right? And everybody should be that way. If it's not working for me, I'm sorry. Right? And that's the way you should be. And that way, you're living in you're living in the now, like right now. You're not living in the future or bringing things from the future into now or bringing things from the past. There are lessons you can get from those two things, right? I've never seen tomorrow, ever. Because every time I look around, it's today. And I've never seen yesterday, because every time I look around, it's today. Right? So those things are pretty much memories. And so, again, they're helpful, but don't live there. Right? And in working with memories, some people have negative issues with memories, right? In my instance, again, many people don't know I was abused. In my instance, I had to go back and forgive myself in that instance. So that when I go back there, it's not negative, right? I used to get whooped at home for stealing, like, I think it was $1. But back then, $1 was a lot of money, because you probably only made $50 a week, right? I had no idea. And so when I go back to that whooping, it was a lesson for me. So every time I go back there, I don't bring something negative with me. So you can change all these feelings and memories so that they work for you, not against you. Because again, you create your reality, every single part of it. There is nothing that anybody or anything happens to you. Things don't happen to you. They happen through you. By what you keep thinking over and over and over, by what you do over and over and over, right? That's how things happen to you. And once you understand that you have that control, then anything is possible, and everything is possible, right? There's so many wonderful things out there once you start understanding yourself. They'll always tell you that if you look inside yourself, you'll find the universe, right? I can't say that enough. People tend to look outside, for your soulmate and your best friend. And if you start looking inside, you'll find that person in yourself, and then that physical person will be attracted to you, right? That's how you get the things you want. You get in that vibration of what you want. Like, I don't want to be happy. I am happy. Right? Because a lot of people are like, if I get with them, I'm going to be happy. Right? But you want to bring happiness in. And they want to bring happiness in. And then you are not faulting on somebody for, well, you said you were going to make me happy. Right? It's like, it's that easy. I am happy. Like, I'm happy. Right? I'm not feeling the best, but I am happy. And there are things I need to learn because I probably haven't been listening. Right? So I got a call. So it's not a bad thing. It's like, you need to check yourself. Right? Because everything around me is spiritual. Everything I look at has some spiritual connotation to it. Every single thing. Right? Nothing is just this little physical thing. A rock has some spiritual significance to me. Trees do, animals do, people do. Everything has a spiritual content. If you don't see that, then you're seeing probably half the picture. because everything is spiritual. You started as a soul or a spirit, and then here is my body, but the soul spirit is first, right? So once you start connecting and relating to this, then everything here is, you don't even have to think about it. Everything falls into place. But we look in the mirror, right? And this was one of them funny memes. She looked in the mirror, and then she took the Band-Aid and she put it on the mirror, right? No, you put the Band-Aid on your face and the mirror fixes itself, right? You do your own work and the reflection fixes itself. But people do that. I want to fix you so that I can be good. No, you fix yourself and everything else is good, right? I'm going to leave you with this here, because we always talk about world healing, or lost the words, world health, or it'll come to me in time. But it starts with individual health. It starts with, if you want to see the world as a healthy place, see yourself as a healthy person. And if we all do that, then the world becomes healthy automatically, right? We want to go over and we want to, work with all these people overseas and Asia and the war zones and all that. But if we worked on ourselves and we get our energy in a certain place, they get that energy. And we don't have to be there, and we don't have to send them stuff. Sometimes we do if we can, and, all that's fine too. But ultimately, if you fix yourself, the mirror fixes itself. What you're looking at on the TV sometimes is telling you what you need to fix about yourself, right? That's why I can watch TV in a different way now, because it just tells me, you need to fix this about yourself. That's what it's telling me. If I see something I don't like, you need to fix that about me, right? No matter what it is, no matter who it is. If I don't like you, again, that's something to happen with me, right? A lot of people right now don't like certain people. That's not beneficial to you. It wasn't beneficial to me. It isn't beneficial to me. So I let that go. Right? And I realized that I have so much power. I don't need the government. That's the way we used to call it, the government. I don't need them. Some people think we need them. You don't. They need you. But they have that fear thing going where it's like, yeah, you all need us. Otherwise, you're going into chaos. No such thing. But if we're fearful, then we give them power, right? Let's take your own power back, and then they always follow along. They always come around, right? They always come around. I remember Martin Luther King, when he started, there weren't a lot of people on board, even of this color. But once things started to happen, then everybody was on board. And that's how it is with everything, right? So whatever you need to do, just do it. People will come along, like, build it, they will come, right? It's just that easy, right? Everything is so easy, right? And this is what they taught before Jesus, because most of the time now with folks, we want to start at Jesus and come forward. But things were good before him. Things were fantastic before him, right? We had all different kinds of technologies before him that we don't have now, right? And that's another story entirely. But we have this power inside of us that once we connect to it, we got our own messages, right? We got our own answers. Because they're trying to talk to us all the time. We just don't listen. Like, God never stopped talking to us. We just stopped listening because we started listening to somebody else, right? And so I'm gonna stop there. I'm going to thank all my friends online who are watching. My wife, she's always watching. So thank you. If you got any questions, put them in the chat. I'll get to them when I get to them. If you got any topics you want me to talk about, stick them in there too. All right?
I have a question.
Yes, hold on.